Hello there everyone, my name is James, and today I'm just going to introduce you very briefly to a FTL mod that I created myself. I'm going to tell you what it is, why you should be interested in it, where to find it, and a few other details worth mentioning. So this is called the 26 Flagships mod, and what it is of course every time you get to the end of the game you fight the boss, the enemy Rebel Flagship, and it's always the same, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's a generally well-made flagship. It's a good tough challenge, but of course it gets a bit stale after playing it many times, and a few people have made other variants of the flagship. And there is something called the random flagship generator. You can find this on the FTL forums, and that's good to add some variation. The random flagship generator is the thing that inspired this, but what this is I've created 26 human tailor-made flagships with a random generator that picks each one, so your experience of fighting the enemy flagship can be different each and every time. So why would you take this over the random flagship generator is one question. And the random, like I said, the random flagship generator is what inspired the creation of the 26 flagships. A through Z if you're American, Z if you're not, so that they're all lettered. The creator of the random flagship generator had noted that he didn't want things like all missile launchers to appear on the random flagship because that might be overpowered, so he limited some of the randomness to it. But I found when I played that even though it was cool that I was playing something every single time, it got lame very quickly because I always found the challenge too easy, even when I was playing on hard. Which is too bad because it's a great concept. I think the random flagship generator is good. The randomness is just too much, though. It's not consistent enough to make a solid, serious challenge. And so, taking that idea, what I simply did is made a whole bunch of different designs, tested them 3 to 4 times each with various strategies, so this took a long time, until I was confident that, yeah, each of these is about the same strength as the usual original Rebel Flagship, but is different each in its own way. That will give you a unique challenge. And what that means is some of them are very aggressive with crew. Some of them are good at killing your crew. Some of them are resistant to boarding. Some of them have very aggressive weapons of one kind or another, and so on, or different augmentations that will give you a hard time. And so with all these tailor-made enemies, you have all these options that you can go through. So I'm going to show you where to download this and simply how to make sure you install it right. So I'm going to go to Google here, FTL forums, very simply. Now you can go to working mods, but and obviously people who have been to the forums already know how to do this. So that, for those who are watching, this is for anyone who didn't happen to find this based on the forums alone, who still wants to know where to find this. So we're going to go to the Subset Games forum index page. Here's the FTL General. We're going to Mods. We're going to here Working Mods. And right over here, 26 Flagships Variable Flagship Challenge and CE mod. There is a second part to this, but that's not the main feature. And so if we scroll down, there's a download here and a download here, one at the middle of the thread and one at the bottom of the first post. So I'm going to click on that. It brings us to our Mega Drive, and I can simply download it. It's a zip file, and we'll just give it a few seconds to do its thing. And I'm presuming you already know how to use mods in FTL, you need something called Slipstream Mod Manager. You can find that on the FTL forums as well. And it's a simple matter of following the instructions. All right, so here's the 26 flagships. As you can see, I've already downloaded this because I was practicing. So we're going to open this up with WinRAR. I'm going to just drag this to here on my desktop. And so we're going to go to that file. I'm going to show you what it looks like. This is what it looks like on the inside. You got flagship A, B, C, D, all the way to Z or Z. So what we need to do with this is I'm going to open up the slipstream. So here's mods. So we need two things from here. One is custom flagships 1.2. That you're going to put into the mods folder. I already got it in there, but I'll replace the file. It's the same thing. So custom flagships 1.2, you need that in your mods folder. And then you can either pick a flagship just by clicking and dragging it over. Flagship B. I recommend personally that you copy it and paste it just so you don't lose it, because you actually need to save this folder, and I'll explain why. I'll show you right now. So here you have custom flagship randomizer. If I double click this, okay, I need to find Windows. Yeah, I know. See, that's supposed to be funny. Anyway, so here's my 26 flagships folder. It's already selected it. So you just need to choose the folder where these 26 are. Hit choose folder, selected flagship.ftl created, enjoy, and here is selected flagship. What that means is just by selecting the right folder, it picked one of these 26 randomly and gave it to me, just called it selected flagship, but I don't know which one it is. That way you can be surprised each time. And so all I need to do is click and drag that over. Now, I'll touch on this in a minute, but I also created something called FTL ZO CE mod. This is a modification for Captain's Edition, and which is not relevant to the flagships directly, but if you want to use it, it's a simple matter of taking Captain's Editions out and putting this in. And what this is I've tinkered with the trade system and the weapons and the augmentations and tried to balance everything out. I just find it's much better. Overall, I think I've made some things harder and some things easier, and overall it just balances out in the end. But what's fun about it is that I created a whole bunch of new, let's say, starting loadouts. So you can have a fun starting out with a whole bunch of things. Anyway, I'm going to the mod manager. And so the order of this thing should be, so if this is the CE mod is replacing Captain's Edition, it goes in the same spot as usual. So I'm going to pick all my things. I like the vanilla portrait patch. I like the generic sector names. Custom flagships 1.2 should be the second last option, and the very last thing on your mod list should be the selected flagship. And you patch it up and it'll be good to go. And that is it, really. So what I'm planning to do, myself anyway, is I'm going to be doing some playthroughs to actually demonstrate to you the flagships A through Z. By the way, flagship A is the same as the usual one that you always encounter. So like it's slightly different, but really it's the same thing. So you still get to encounter the normal one here and there. But I'm going to try and go through with time A through Z, all the different flagships, and show you what they're like in one video after another. I'm also planning to show the ZO CE mod. ZO stands for Zora. It's a handle I used to use. And I'll show you the loadouts with the ships and do some playthroughs. And the whole goal about this, just to be clear, I mean, I did make the 26 flagship mod actually like 3 years ago, but I never really marketed it much, and maybe I should have, because I think you're really going to enjoy it, because it makes your end game very different every single time. And because you don't know what flagship it is, I usually have a strategy of keeping a few extra weapons or drones or whatever in my backpack, I guess it is. What would you call it? The extra slots, in case I need to shift something out. That makes it interesting. Moreover, you can get one hint in the game of which flagship you're facing if you use the random one like this, which is if you go into the boss sector, the early boss sector where you fight the half-built flagship. It will be a half-built version of the same kind you're fighting, so you can actually get ready for it to a certain degree. Finally, something I didn't mention is that this, as far as I know, is compatible with any mod. Maybe not every mod, but like so long as these two custom flagships and then the flagship choice are the last two choices, it will replace only the flagship and nothing but the flagship. I don't think it was replacing anything else, but let me know if it does. So it's good with standard FTL, although I think this is only made for Advanced Edition, just to be clear, but it's good for that FTL, it's good with the Polish kit, it's good with the Captain's Edition, and any number of other things. This just changes the flagships and gives you that challenge. So yeah, that's everything I got for you. I will talk to you in the next video, where I'll just show you my next video will be about some of my thoughts on the CE mod, about how I came up with that and why it's a fun spin on Captain's Edition and worth playing. Meanwhile, again, this is James. I hope you enjoy playing through the 26 flagships and experimenting with that. Have a good day. Bye-bye.